Hey YouTube, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a most carried video. So this will, in a second, get to all the knives that have been in my pocket the most often over the last 5 weeks or so. I guess this will be like June, July 2017. I've got a bunch of different knives to show you that I've been carrying and really enjoying, but I've been trying to throw in an alternate item with each one of these videos just to add a level of interest. I've actually got two today. The first one is this little Transcend USB flash drive. Really nice little flash drive, super easy to carry around, but it's stainless steel, so it holds up really well. And I have actually had USB drives fail on me because the plastic here, especially at the end, starts to kind of get weak and then crack. And so, you know, I've had a number of them where I've had to like get one last use out of it, pull everything off and then throw it away. So I've started switching to the stainless steel, which are really robust and hold up really well to pocket carry. So really nice. The other thing I want to share with you really quickly is the Casio ProTech. I think this is like the 3414, but this is an ABC watch, so it does compass, barometer, altimeter. Really nice watch. Of course, I also kind of like the way it looks. And would recommend the Casio ProTech as just a really, you know, sort of hard use option. I have a nicer watch that I wear, you know, for Sundays or whatever, but for daily wear, this one works really well, and it's held up. You can see a little wear up here around the bezel, and that's about it. Anyway, if you want, I can throw some links down in the description so that you can check out some of these ProTech watches on Amazon. And what I would say is if you find a couple that you like, add them to your wish list. You'll find the price fluctuates a bit. So I added this to the wish list, watched for a while, and then when it was sort of, when they discounted it a bit, that's when I pulled the trigger. So there you go. Casio ProTech 3414, been on my wrist quite a bit, and I'm going to put it back on my wrist now, but I wanted to take it off obviously to show it to you a little better. Let's get this guy out of the way and let's go ahead and start looking at some knives. Let's pull out a really nice one first off. This is the Olamic Swish, new for this year from over at Olamic, and you guys know if you've watched my first impressions that this finish was custom for me. I actually sent Eugene some pictures of a Curtis knife. I really liked the way it was finished. Said, can you do something like this? And he did a great job of it. So I've got to say, guys, this is a really nice knife. I hope to have a review for you in the next few days, but I wanted to, it has been in my pocket a lot. It's a really well balanced knife, great user, great carrier. So I'll get that review up here shortly, but wanted to give you just a quick sort of preview and let you know that, yeah, I have been carrying this an awful lot and thoroughly enjoying it. So let's go ahead and share some other knives. Let's see, this guy also. Another knife, really well done, really easy to carry. It sort of satisfies my, you know, enjoyment of high quality stuff, but does so at a pretty reasonable price point. These can actually be had for, you know, between $150 and $200, and they're extremely well done. This is the Real Steel Megalodon. Great knife. Great action, great blade shape, easy to carry, you know, interesting design. Gotta say, I'm a huge fan of this guy. All right, moving on. Let's save a couple of higher ones for the end, higher end ones for the end, and get to some, you know, slightly more budget friendly, although not super budget friendly, all of these. Here is the Kaiser Intrepid Vanguard series. This is a great knife, one of the best from the Vanguard series that I've seen. Just the size, the blade shape, everything about this is really nice. And I'm actually going to get ready to do a comparison video between this and the steel will cut jack because they're very close in size, very close in construction. So I think that'll be an interesting, fun comparison. And of course, this has some upgrades that the cut jack doesn't have. So it'll be, I think it'll make for an interesting discussion to compare those two knives. But this guy has been in my pocket a lot. Really great knife, as has its sort of upgraded counterpart. This guy is the Intrepid from the Bladesmith series. Again, a great knife. These have been recently reviewed, and a lot of times after I review a knife, I sort of take a break from it. Except for if I really love it. And so I've got to say, the fact that I'm still carrying these all the time, even though I've kind of done the review and should be moving on to other things, you know, just lets you know how well done these really are. Just comfortable in hand, great useful blade shape, you know, action, all that kind of stuff is just really well done. So I've got to say, huge fan of the Kaiser Intrepid. Let's see. Yeah, this guy. Haven't had this in a most carried video in a while, but such a great knife. This is the Cold Steel. Cold Steel. This is the Spyderco Manix 2 XL. And this knife is wonderful. It's really comfortable in hand. It's a little pocket filling, but I don't carry anything else in my knife pocket. It's just for knives, so I don't really care. The action is really nice. I've had this for a long time. We've been on some big adventures together, and it's always held up really well. I think I told you guys about the time that I ended up going swimming with this in my pocket, came out of the water. You know, I didn't even take the whole thing apart because I was camping and I just wasn't set up well for disassembly. So I dried it out, laid it in the sun, sprayed some WD-40 in, and it was good to go, and has been ever since. That was a couple years ago now, but great knife. What else have we got here? How about the Cold Steel Ultimate Hunter? This knife is a couple years old from Cold Steel, but it is definitely one of their better sort of all-around models. A lot of people ask me for recommendations, and certainly this is on my short list. If someone says, you know, I just want a good, heavy-duty, you know, knife that's really capable, I'm going to recommend this guy over and over again. It's great, comfortable in hand. The blade is sheeple friendly and extremely useful, extremely durable. Yeah, this is a really well done knife. Cold Steel has obviously a number of knives that I really like, but this one is on my short list of, how would you say this? You know, more broadly appealing. Okay, that's the words I'm looking for. So, you know, there are some Cold Steels that I love, but I wouldn't recommend to anyone else. This is a knife that I love, but would feel really comfortable recommending to just about anyone because they're just super useful, comfortable, and even somewhat affordable. I mean, they're not cheap by any means, but they don't break the bank either. Okay, now let's move on to some higher end stuff. And I've got to say this, guys, some of my nicer knives, you know, this F3 is, I think it's been in like every most carried video since I got it. I absolutely love it. I carry it all the time. And some of these knives, you know, if let's say this has been my EDC for the day, I've carried it all day, and it's served me well. But then when I get home, I'll often put this back on the shelf and get something like this and carry it around for the rest of the afternoon or whatever, just because, you know, they're just super fun to play with, to get out. And so a lot of these higher end knives that I have, I end up carrying every single day, right? Because I'll come home and I'll get this one out and I'll flip it and carry it, and I'll maybe use it for cutting up some vegetables for supper, and then I'll put it back and I'll get out something else. And you know, so I get a ton of sort of enjoyment out of some of these higher end pieces. This one is great knife. Now, thinking of higher end stuff, I got a couple of Riat knives for you. This, of course, is the Epoch. Really nice little Mokutai inlay there. Just a great all-around knife. Recently did a comparison between this guy and the Torrent, and you should see that either it's already posted or it will be posting in the next day or so. Not sure how. It's already done, but I'm just not sure what order they're all going to end up landing in. So if you haven't already seen the comparison, it should be a fun video. You might want to check that out. Finally, let's make this the grand finale. The Todd Bag Steelcraft Series Bodega. Recently reviewed, much loved knife. Lots and lots of people have talked about these knives, and everyone has a lot of good stuff to say. They are really well done, guys. They're thin behind the edge. They're absolutely beautiful. They're coming in at, you know, they're expensive, but compared to, you know, what you're going to pay to get your hands on anything from Todd Bag, they're not bad. And they're really well done, big, great finishes on these guys. So I've got to say, you know, I love this knife. And again, this is one that I'll come home and put in my pocket and carry around the house and flip and take some pictures for Instagram and stuff like that. Most days this gets at least fondled a little bit, and then a lot of days it also gets carried, especially if I know that I'm not doing anything too crazy. You know, I don't want to carry this knife with me on a construction site or to a fire call or something like that. But, you know, if I'm fairly confident that I'm not going to be doing anything that's going to get me into some crazy situation, then I'll carry this. And guess what? If I really did need it in some kind of weird, dire situation, where I had to break myself and my family out of the car or something, of course I would use it. I just, you know, try to baby it a little. There you go, guys. Those are the most carried knives for the last, I don't know, say about 5 weeks. And you can look forward to another video like this in, you know, another 5 weeks from now. Let's see if I can get all these knives back in the picture to kind of finish things off. Oh, I'm out of room. Let's see here. There we go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will talk to you soon.